One of your quotes I saw over the last couple of years: be grateful for what you've got, enjoy what's happening today, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Never was a truer word said, eh? Oh.
Yeah. And only when something like that happens does the importance of family and friends and your bandmates become obvious. And this is the same for everybody. We tend to take things for granted until something like this happens. And then you suddenly start to realise what is actually important in life.
I think it's the human condition, though, Tim. I think it is. I mean, I think, unfortunately, we're really good at moaning. But we're also really good at adapting. You know, that's why we made such a mess of the planet. You know, we're really, really good at kind of getting in amongst stuff and finding out how it works and adapting it to suit us. And I think when you consider the kinds, I mean, I've said this time and time again over the years, when you consider the number of things that can go wrong, I mean, you've got to watch one of these, you know, these accident and emergency type programs on TV once, you realise that there are so many things that can happen to the human body. And when I consider what I've done to myself, some of which will be covered in the show, I'll leave out a lot of the bloody bits because there's people who might be sick. But when I consider the things I've done to myself, I honestly believe it's a miracle anybody lives to get old. Me especially. So, you know, to get to 62 before I fell down the stairs, had a stroke and then, you know, smashed my skull open, to me it's a miracle. Honestly, genuinely, I mean, I've been run over 9 separate occasions, Tim. Once by a double-decker bus.
How many times?
9.
9 times you've been run over.
9 times before I was 15 years old. Honestly, I'm not joking. First time when I was 3.
It's unbelievable. I was sitting there thinking what it must have been going through your mind at the time. And there must have been a bit of anger there because you're thinking how bloody inconvenient this is happening now. You've been on this fabulous run of form. The Wonder Days, the first top 10 album since 95, Rip It Up, number 3, highest since Judgment Day. Yeah. Did your first Australian shows after that, All the Right Noises at number 3, Dopamine top 5. I mean, you could not do anything wrong.
Well, what we were trying to do was get all the things in while we still had time. You know, we had a list of things that we hadn't done. And we'd sit there with the list saying, well, we haven't done a double album. We haven't been to Australia. You know, these are the things we were thinking, well, we've got to tick these off quick. Because, and I've said this in interviews, every album you make, once you get past a certain age, you have to recognise that it might end up being the last album you make. You don't know what the circumstances are, and here we are, you know. I find myself in an ironic situation where, having made the Dopamine album, we release it, we go out on the road, play festivals, we play UK. I mean, the show's absolutely fantastic. Album, fantastic. Reviews, fantastic. Everything about it is absolutely brilliant. And then you think to yourself, oh, okay, I've got a couple of months off now. I'll have a bit of a party. We celebrate the party because some of us have reached 60 years old. So we had a do, basically. I invited all our friends and family. And it was the night I fell down the stairs. So it cost me an absolute fortune and I can't remember anything about it. Oh, the irony, Tim. You know, that's the way it is. I mean, life is full of ironies, you know. That's what it is.